In the annals of Celtic lore, there exists a tale of Cernunnos, the Horned One, a god of profound significance. He was no ordinary deity, but a being who bridged the realms of the wild and the civilized, the hunter and the hunted, the sacred and the mundane. His story, passed down through generations, teaches a lesson about balance, a harmony that ensures the survival of all. Cernunnos was born on the darkest day of the year, the winter solstice. On this longest night when the land lay barren and silent under the weight of frost, a spark of life flickered. The child who entered the world that night bore antlers upon his brow, a crown that marked him as both man and stag. His birth heralded the turning of the year and the promise of rebirth, for with him came the stirring of dormant seeds and the faint warmth of returning sunlight. As Cernunnos grew, he became a wanderer of the great forests. His presence was a blessing upon the wilds. Under his watchful eye, nature flourished. Rivers flowed clearer, trees grew taller, and creatures roamed freely. Where he walked, flowers bloomed even in the shadows, and the animals of the forest gathered without fear. It was said that wolves and deer, natural enemies, sat together in his presence, bound by an unspoken trust in their protector. To the wild beasts, Cernunnos was not merely a god. He was their guide, their guardian, and their peacekeeper. Yet his nature was dual, for Cernunnos was also the patron of hunters. He understood the needs of humankind, who relied on the forest for survival. Under his guidance, the hunt was an act of reverence rather than conquest. He taught the hunters to take only what was necessary, to honor the spirit of the slain, and to give thanks for nature's gifts. In this way, the horned god maintained balance, a fragile harmony between life and death, abundance and restraint. In his maturity, Cernunnos encountered Beltane, the goddess of spring. Her presence was as warm and vibrant as his was grounded and steady. Their union was a celebration of the cycle of life. While Cernunnos presided over the dark, introspective half of the year, Beltane ruled the bright, flourishing months. Together, they embodied the eternal dance of death and rebirth. As the horned god waned with the autumn's chill, Beltane's warmth ensured the renewal of life each spring. Their bond was a reminder to all who worshipped them. Existence is not linear but cyclical, an endless turning of the seasons. Among the many tales of Cernunnos' wisdom, one stands out. It is the story of a hunter whose ambition nearly unraveled the delicate balance of the forest. This hunter, blinded by greed and pride, sought to make his name as the most prosperous provider in his village. He set traps indiscriminately, snaring both prey and predators alike. His arrows felled more creatures than his family could eat or use, and he boasted of his bounty as evidence of his skill. But the forest began to change. The once lush groves grew quiet, their animals frightened or absent. The rivers, once teeming with life, ran sluggish and murky. The villagers, though impressed by the hunter's prowess, began to notice that the bounty they had relied upon for generations was dwindling. One moonlit night, as the hunter tended to his traps, he heard a rustling in the underbrush. From the shadows emerged a figure both fearsome and awe-inspiring. Cernunnos stood before him, his antlers gleaming silver in the light of the full moon, his eyes reflecting the depths of the wild. Around him gathered the creatures of the forest, wolves, deer, foxes, and birds of every kind, all watching in silence. "Why do you take more than you need?" the horned god asked, his voice a low rumble that seemed to echo through the trees. The hunter, emboldened by pride, replied, "To prosper, my lord, to provide for my kin and secure my name." Cernunnos knelt and drew a circle in the dirt at their feet. "Your kin and name may endure," he said, "but at what cost? The trees that shade you will wither, the rivers that quench your thirst will dry. Your children will inherit a barren land, and they will curse your name for the ruin you have wrought." The hunter, humbled by the vision of a desolate future, fell to his knees. He begged for forgiveness and guidance, promising to mend his ways. Cernunnos, ever the mediator, offered his wisdom. "Restore the balance," he said. "Replenish what you have taken. Honor the spirits of the forest, and they will forgive you. Only then can you and your kin prosper alongside the wild, not at its expense." The hunter obeyed, He set about repairing the damage he had caused, freeing the creatures caught in his traps, and planting saplings in the groves he had thinned. He shared his newfound wisdom with his village, teaching them to respect the cycles of nature. Over time, the forest healed, balance restored. The rivers flowed clear again, and the animals returned, their trust renewed. Thus, Cernunnos' lesson endured. True prosperity lies not in excess, but in balance. The wild and the civilized, the hunter and the hunted, exist in harmony only when they respect one another's place in the grand design. To this day, the image of Cernunnos remains a potent symbol in Celtic lore. Depictions of him seated cross-legged, surrounded by beasts, serve as reminders of his teachings. On solstice nights, when the veil between worlds is thinnest, some say you can still hear the rustle of leaves and the distant call of the stag. It is as if the horned god himself whispers through the forest, "Honor the balance, and life shall honor you in return."
If you seek wisdom, why not get it from a god? Subscribe to learn our lessons, and thank you for watching. Lessons from the Gods.